Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Morning. Me First Mornings. I am your host, Patricia Ribeiro Wolfson. I am also an energy alchemist, intuitive coach, and energy healer, and I'm really happy to be here. I'm a wife and a mom to 3 boys, so it keeps me very, very busy, which means I am constantly calibrating my energy, and I want to help you do the same thing, because when we become responsible for the energy that we put out into the world, when we own our energetic signature, so to speak, and understand how what we put out will affect what we receive, well, then we can start to make the changes in our life that we all desperately need, especially right now as we are in this humongous transformation in our lives. I think humanity as a whole is going through a huge transformation. Individuals or I should say individually, we are also going through this great transformation. Things coming to the surface, coming to the realization that some things no longer work for us. You know, we have stories and limiting beliefs and things that just we can't take with us to the next part of our lives. We can't bring it into the future. So we need to release it and let it go now. And I want to help you do that. Today we are celebrating Fun Friday because, every Friday is Fun Friday here, where I will pull some cards from my Oracle deck. And today we're going to be using the Enchanted Map from Colette Baron Reid, one of my favorite decks that I usually use every day. Although this week I've been using the Kyle Gray deck, Keepers of the Light. But for today, we're gonna ask the Enchanted Map and see what it has to tell us about what we need to know for our weekend. So if you are watching and you're interested in getting a card pulled, not a car. I mean, if you need a car pulled, I don't know, I can't help you with that. But if you need a card pulled, then just comment below while we are live, and I'm happy to pull a card for you. Happy Friday, Marissa. Hi, I'm so glad you're here. All right, so let's get started. Well, first of all, let's cover some business. And the first piece of business is, are you subscribed to my YouTube channel yet? Because if you are not, now's a great time to go onto YouTube, go to Jumpstart for Change and subscribe, and also ding that notification bell to make sure that you get notified every time that I go live. And I am here every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m., barring anything sort of happening. But generally speaking, I am here, solidly speaking, I am here at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, if you see in the comments or in the description of my video, you will also see the other places on social media you can find me. And don't forget, if you have not yet downloaded your free GPS workbook, go ahead and do that now. I highly encourage it. It will help you find your GPS word, which is a word or phrase that can center you and connect you with your higher knowing, with your inner guidance. And specifically, I call it GPS because it is like your own internal positioning system, right? Your GPS, your internal GPS, where you become in alignment with your inner knowing and in your inner guidance. So you just tell your GPS, or you plug into your GPS, which is really setting the intention for the day, how you want to feel today. What is your goal feeling? What is your goal accomplishment? And I like to focus on the feeling itself, because when we're focused on the feeling, then all the other stuff kind of falls into place, right? If you focus on, whatever, freedom or peace or abundance or whatever it is, connection, when you focus on the feeling that you want, then you have less expectation about what gets you that feeling. So as long as you are sort of chasing the feeling, or I should say, creating the feeling or creating the space for that feeling to exist, then you can step more into that feeling, therefore, increasing that feeling in your life and attracting things that create that feeling in your life. And that's kind of how it works and why I work with energy calibration. Good morning, Mom. Thank you. You can't stay here going to the gym. Okay. have fun at the gym. I'll see you soon. Okay, so, well, I won't see you at all, but I will be thinking of you, and you can watch me later. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to light our candle so that we can start pulling cards. And if no one's here, I'll pull cards for the collective. That's okay too. Maybe I'll pull cards for myself, and you guys can see what the angels have to tell me. Who knows? Okay, so I put a little candle on and now some essential oils, and we're going to do our little morning routine. And I like to do this me first morning routine every morning because it helps me get centered, and I like to do it with you. Oh, Marissa, I would love to pull a card for you. Thank you. So just putting some essential oils through my hair so that I can take the beautiful scent of sacred frankincense with me everywhere I go today. I'm very excited. It's like sniffing essential oils. All right. Well, I like it. So do what you can. And apparently it's encouraged. What can I say? All right. So what we're going to do together is, and this exercise, what it is meant to do, or the purpose of this exercise that we do together, of course, is to clear our vessel, right? So our body, our, physical self is our vessel. So we want to clear that vessel so that we can connect with our spiritual support team, right? So clear the vessel, connect, and charge up for the day, right? We want to charge up for the day because we want to make sure that we have the right sort of energy set. We want to raise our frequency. And how do we do that? Well, the way we do it here on Me First Mornings is we take 3 deep breaths, 3 very intentional deep breaths, and we call in the energy from the sun, right? And we just let it pour into our body, and I will lead you through that. And then we're calling in the energy of the earth, and we allow that to sort of burst through our bodies and permeate our entire body, our entire spirit. I want you to just visualize it. We're going to do this together, and then we're going to exhale. And as we exhale, we're going to release all the things that don't serve us. So we're calling in the power of the sun, right? Power of the heavens, power of the earth, charging up with that beautiful healing light and life force energy that only nature can provide us with. And then we are going to allow nature to just dissipate and dissolve any stuck, stagnant, or dense energy in our bodies. And when we exhale, we are releasing anything that does not serve us. And then together we will set an intention for the day. Okay, so let's do that right now. I also like to grab my crystal spheres. You don't have to use crystals. You don't have to use spheres. You don't have to do anything. This is an exercise for you. It is a ritual and routine for you to incorporate into your day and for you to make it work however it works for you. So you add or subtract, however, whatever resonates. Okay, here we go. We're going to take a deep breath in. Once again, I want you to imagine that you are opening up the top of your head, and I want you to sort of imagine, intend, and call in that beautiful life force energy, that healing energy from the sun. Feel that warmth filling your body, just pouring into your head like liquid sunlight and just permeating every single cell with its brilliant healing white light and just breaking apart anything that does not serve you. Let's do that together now. Okay, here we go. And hold. And release. Beautiful. Now with your feet well planted on the ground, I want you to do the same thing, but I want you to focus on pulling up the energy from the earth, right? We are made of stardust and we are made of earth dust, otherwise known as dirt, right? So we are made of earth dust and stardust, and we're going to call in those energies into our body. And right now, with our feet well planted on the ground, we are calling in that powerful life force energy, the same one that brings the buds of those plants and flowers through, breaking through the ground and to bloom and blossom into their, highest selves, right? And so we're doing the same thing for us. Just imagine that the roots from the ground are just coming up through your feet, going all the way up your legs, through your body, permeating every single part and filling your body with the life force energy that fuels us and gives us the energy of life. Okay, here we go. And hold. and release. Okay. One last deep breath. And with this final deep breath, I want you to just focus on whatever you want, but I like the idea of sort of blending the energies. And I want you to imagine that the sunlight is coming in through your body, right? And the earth and the powerful life force energy coming up this way. And they just kind of come together and breathe in, allowing your entire body to be filled with that powerful healing light and that life force energy throughout your whole body. And I want you to imagine that you are just spreading your wings. Imagine you have wings in the back, right where your shoulder blades are, where your wings would be if you were to have them. But imagine that you are sort of inflating your wings as you take this last deep breath and filling it with the love and light available to you. Okay. And then when we exhale, we are releasing once more all the things that don't serve us, asking Mother Gaia and our spiritual support team to dissolve and transmute that energy for the highest and greatest good of all. All right, here we go. And hold. And release. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Now we do a little stretching, right? So now that we've taken those deep, deep breaths and we have sort of cleansed the system, right? Cleared the channel. Now we're going to do the same thing, but, on a more physical level. Anywhere where you have tension or discomfort, or you feel like the need to stretch, right? Your body's asking to be stretched there, right? Because you're feeling some sort of a kink in your neck or some pain or discomfort, whatever you're feeling. We want to increase the flow of the energy through your body. And so when you're feeling kind of stiff, when you're feeling some tension or discomfort, it's because there's like a ball of energy that's sort of stopping the flow, right? So we want to release it as much as possible. So stretch. I really have a lot of, buildup of energy on my upper back and neck. So I do a lot of that. But if you have tension sort of in your lower back or in your legs, wherever you need, focus on that now and just take deep breaths, imagining that tension just releasing. So as I pull my neck, this part is tight. I'm breathing in, and then I'm going to pull it even more and just stretch it out as much as I can as I exhale. And you do that as much as you can or as much as you need. There we go. Okay. And then shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. All right, let's set our intention together. So for those of you who already know what your GPS word is, you can apply it now, or just set an intention for how you want to feel for today or for the weekend. It's entirely up to you, between you and your spiritual support team. So we're going to say our Me First morning prayer. If that doesn't resonate with you, you're welcome to say something else, another prayer that connects with your own spiritual or religious beliefs, or you can just sit in silence and meditate during this time. Thank you. Okay. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. I ask, may the highest vibration of infinite consciousness connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us to raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it. And so it is. All right. We're done. All right. So let's start pulling some cards. Marissa, you asked to have a card pulled first. So let us go with you first. I'm going to pull from the Enchanted Map deck. And I'm just going to do a little shuffling over here. And we'll ask the Oracle, what is it that you need to know going into the weekend? Actually, if you have a more specific question, we can ask that too. But I think that this works. Here we go. Bum, bum, bum. I'm so glad you're here. I'm very glad. Anyone who's watching, I'm very glad that you guys are here. Please feel free to say hi. And even if you're watching the replay, although you don't get a card pulled for you in the replay, I'm happy to do a private reading. If you guys are interested, please feel free to reach out to me privately, and we will set something up. I can send you my schedule. In the meantime, let's see what happens. All right. Shuffling, shuffling. Bum, 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 bum. Can you guys believe that we're at the end of March? The end of March. How did we get here? 2022, end of March. I'm totally flabbergasted by how fast the time is going. I don't know about you guys, but seriously, it feels like, I don't know, everything's just going so fast. The days sometimes feel extra long. You know, it's like what they say with little kids, like the days are long, but the years are short. Well, yeah, I concur with that statement. The days are long and the years are short, but I'm going to say that the weeks are short because this has felt like a whirlwind year. And it's only just begun, or so I thought, because here we are at the end of March, going into April, going into our busy time in our life, in my life, as birthdays begin in May for us. And then it's like a birthday every month. So that's exciting. All right, here we go. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. I just want to shuffle really well, Marissa, because this is the first shuffle and I haven't used these cards in a while. All right, here we go. Oh, interesting, Marissa. All right, here we go. Number 5. Okay, the card number is number 5, and the card is goblins. And it was upside down. And so here is what goblins is all about, you know, facing those limiting beliefs. It's also about, you know, addressing things in your life that either may be scary or upsetting or bothersome, right? It's really about like facing the issues in your life that prevent you from moving forward. And of course, because it's goblins, it's really connected to fear, and it's about releasing the fear of certain things in your life. And it could just be, you know, like when we're thinking about our kids, we are afraid that if they don't do this, then, you know, down the road, they're going to suffer, or they're going to miss out, or they're not going to have an experience that you really want them to have. And so releasing the fear of, you know, of that, and even releasing the fear of your responsibility of, you know, someone else. And I think that that's kind of a theme that I find running really strongly right now through the collective, is our personal responsibility and our responsibility to others, and really understanding where we have to set the boundaries in terms of what we can do for others and how we can help, and where we set the boundaries to make sure that we are still helping ourselves in the meantime. It is something that it's so important for us to address. And, you know, well, you and I are friends, so we talk about certain things in this regard anyway, but like I said, this is powerful for the collective. And it is this. It is so important that you take care of yourself and your energy first. And when that is taken care of, then you are in a much different place energetically to be able to handle the challenges that come from other people or from other situations. And also it will bring you clarity in terms of what is your responsibility, or how can you contribute positively to this situation, and when to step back and just stay out of the situation. And this sometimes even happens, you know, with our children, you know, where we jump in and, you know, we may try and solve a problem for them or try and fix certain things for them. And I certainly know that I'm guilty of this, but sometimes it's not for us to solve. It's not for us to figure out. It is part of their own journey and their own process in their own development and, you know, personal evolution, which is important because, you know, I think parenting has changed so much in, you know, over the last, 4 decades. Parenting has changed, where when we were growing up, it was very much like, you know, we were left to our own devices, played outside till the lights went on in the street, you know, hung out, you know, wherever. And it was more of that sort of neighborhoody feeling. And now, you know, we're kind of a little bit more on our own. And so that leaves us a little bit more disconnected, right? Disconnected and also overwhelmed. There's so much on our plates. But I don't want to get sidetracked. So I want to go back to goblins, and I specifically want to look at something here. because in the book, I like to read what's in the book sometimes because there's certain things that will speak to you directly about whatever it is that you're going through. So fear is an illusion is sort of the explanation of the card. Choose love today. Forgive yourself and others. Goblins are born when you're wounded and something essential is lost in the experience. From that point on, as you forget your wholeness, they remain with you in the shadows. There they remind you of what brought them into being by mimicking your own voice, tricking you into believing that you're unworthy, victimized, or unloved. Or unlovable, sorry. They hold you hostage through low self-worth, self-sabotage, and the feeling that you're lacking what you need. If goblins pay you a visit, know that they represent the shadow of your own self or someone else's, and they're leading you into a potentially reactive situation. A goblin's card appearance is an opportunity for growth, however, and a signal that you must love yourself. No human is without flaws. The goblin's message is that that you must release resentments and negative self-talk. Within you is the spark of the divine. Ask spirit to help heal you. Miracles can and do happen. Let go of negativity. We've had a lot of miracle cards this week, which I just want to make, point out that it's really encouraging. Okay, so it's often difficult. So it showed up reversed. So I'm going to read that to you because I think it's really pertinent. It's often difficult to deal with someone else's issues because they impact your own. No one is perfect, but in this case, you're particularly vulnerable to being manipulated. Don't take this world personally. When the Goblin's card arrives reversed, it's a sign to step back with detachment. Don't let other people's stuff lead you into reacting from an old wound. Love yourself conditionally, set boundaries, and your goblins will fall asleep. Love is the only answer. Love is the only answer. There you go. I feel really strongly about love being the only answer. And, this just confirms and reiterates what we were saying, which is it's really important to set boundaries. And I used sort of like our children as an example because I think that, if you are a parent, our children, it is much less simple for us to set boundaries with our children because we feel responsible for them. But that can also be true for other people in our lives, other good friends, other family members, people who we have a relationship with. And the way things have been going in, the world these days, there have been a lot of changes to relationships. There have been shifts in relationships as people are getting clearer and clearer about who they are and how they want to sort of represent themselves and walk through the world. There has become a disconnect with other people who, just are not, who don't resonate with them anymore. And this is not to say, like they're not friends anymore because, people are, being hurtful to each other. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the relationship itself and how it does not work, but more so that you may be on a completely different wavelength from other people in your life. And this is the time for us to just release with love and compassion, right? You don't have to, make a phone call and end a friendship or make a phone call and tell a family member that you want to cut them out necessarily. I mean, if that's what resonates and works for you, then you can go ahead. But for you personally, in any of your personal relationships that need some shifting, you can make that decision on your own and decide like, this is not working for me in the same way, and then set the boundaries accordingly and allow things to evolve and progress naturally. Because if something isn't working for you in a relationship, if you feel a friction or a dissonance in the relationship that didn't exist there before, chances are you're not the only one that's feeling it, and other people are the other person or other people are feeling it too. And so, when that's happening, it can open up sort of the can of worms of people, getting into conflicts or fights or disagreements because they're just on different wavelengths and they're communicating differently. Or perhaps they're communicating, maybe one person is communicating the same way they always did and the other person has sort of shifted and changed how they communicate. Or they're just not on the same wavelength and not communicating. And so it's a little bit of this, right? And so this is an invitation to just be gentle with yourself, be kind and compassionate to everyone around you, and understand that just because someone no longer resonates with you, you don't have to lament that. I mean, you can, of course, go through your grieving process, because I had a show this week all about it's important to grieving friendships, grieving our lives, our past selves. All those things are important to grieve, but move forward knowing that it's not because anyone did anything wrong necessarily. Of course, unless they did, that's you would know that situation. And it could just mean like you're just not clicking anymore, and that's okay, right? When we go to school, or when our children are in school, you're in 5th grade learning 5th grade things, and then you learn and you move and you evolve, and then all of a sudden you're in 6th and 7th and 8th grade, and what you're learning in 8th grade is similar to what you learned in 5th grade, but much more involved, and there's more to it, and you're coming at it from a different angle and a different perspective. So it might be difficult to communicate with someone who is not, at the 8th grade level along with you, right? And it's not about being someone being smarter or more evolved. It just means that you have shifted energetically, and that's what we need to pay attention to. If you've shifted energetically, which this whole show, the whole, purpose of me doing this is to help anyone watching shift energetically, or to shift the things that aren't working for them, and to manage their energy. That will cause you sometimes to, come out of sync with some of the important people that you've had in your life for many, many years. Could be for your whole life, could be for, a significant amount of time, a friendship that's lasted for 20 years. And sometimes things just don't gel anymore. And that's okay, right? It's time for us to just release with love and compassion, hoping that everybody gets, the happiness that they deserve in their life, and that they continue to positively contribute to the world. And you don't have to necessarily be involved with them to care for them and send them off on their merry way. So I hope that was helpful. I don't know if anybody else is here and would like a card. If there is someone else, let me know. This can be the last one, but I'm going to pull one more card, and I'm just going to pull it for maybe the collective, maybe for myself. I don't know, but I guess for the collective. All right, here we go. Let's see what we have for a collective card right now. And we'll finish up. Oh, Marissa, you are so welcome. I hope that was helpful. All right. I'm getting warm again. This is what happens when I do readings. I start to sweat. You know what? This card just popped right out. I'm going to take this one, and look at this. It's number 44, which is an angel number. Look at that. Can you see it? Yes, 44. And the card is strength. And of course the card is strength, because what do we need right now? Strength. Also courage, also patience, also compassion, also love, right? But when you really think about strength, we think about strength in sort of the physical sense, right? And sometimes we think about strength in terms of, emotional strength, being able to handle things, right? When you have so much on your plate, and even in this picture, it's like, well, she doesn't have the world on her back so much as she's holding it with her hand, showing that she's strong enough to hold the world, on her hand. Although most of us probably feel more like that world is right up here in the back of your neck, like pushing down, pushing down on your life force, trying to squeeze every bit of life force energy you have in you and just trying to get out. But strength is also, the ability not to just withstand the challenges that you face, but strength is also is connected to courage, the courage to speak up, the strength to not just endure what life is handing you, but to move through it with grace and compassion, both for yourself and anyone else involved, right? It takes a really strong person to separate themselves from the weight of the world, to separate themselves from the things that are holding you down, right? So you need to kind of help yourself to separate from the issues or the problems or the challenges that you face, and understand these are things you're facing that is not your life, right? The things that you're facing, the challenges that you're facing, the things that that you are dealing with in your life, okay? It is not a reflection of who you are. And we talk about, thoughts create things, and I have talked about on the show, like you don't have to monitor your thoughts so much, because when we start to monitor our thoughts because we're afraid that our thoughts will create, or manifest into bad things if we have bad thoughts, it's not really about that. It's more being able to have the strength, and the wherewithal to step into life as we see fit, to step into our life and live our life in alignment with our inner guidance. And that takes strength, because it's going to take strength and courage, which I think are interchangeable, because you're going to have people around you that are like, I don't know what you're doing, but that's not how it's done, or that's not going to get you what you want, or that's not effective, or this would be better, right? And although they may be correct in their thoughts and values and opinions and according to them in their direct life, but it doesn't necessarily mean it applies to you. It takes true strength to stay connected to that inner guidance and know, what, no matter what, I'm on my path, and this is the path that I need to be on. And staying true to it is where the strength comes from. Staying true to it is also connected to how trusting you are of your own abilities, right? And also how trusting you are of the universe, and whether or not you trust that you are truly being divinely guided and protected. Because if you do feel that, you can withstand anything. You can go through anything, because you're like, this is a part of my path. I'm being divinely guided and protected. So no matter what, I'm going to be okay. And that really is the goal. The goal is to get to that place where no matter what happens, no matter what choices you make, no matter how you do things, what is meant for you will not be kept from you. And everything will unfold exactly as it's meant to, for the highest and greatest good of everyone. And I say that as my information and also as my wish for all of you. I wish that everything works out exactly as it needs to, for the highest and greatest good of everyone. And I will wish you all a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page. Go to Jumpstart for Change and just smash that subscribe button, ding that notification bell. I will be back next week. I'm here every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. EST on Facebook and YouTube. I'll see you then. Have a great weekend. Bye.